welcome to Distracted by Diamonds, home of Patty Wax, the original scented diamond painting drill pen wax for the discerning diamond painter. Made by yours truly, Robin with a Y, and also made by Ben, my husband, with a B. I need to get this video finished and I have no time. So I'm gonna try to be succinct, which is kind of hard for me to do sometimes, and I also need to kill like two birds with one stone. So while I sit here and talk to you, I'm going to package up this lovely Patty Wax that Ben made today. Now, Ben has turned into the Patty Wax master. Look at this beautiful purple. Now, this is Grape Knee High, and this is Nag Champa. And I can't tell you how hard it is to get purple to look a different color when you're dealing with the amounts of like dye and things that we can add to the Patty Wax without changing its core consistency. And Ben, just look at him, he just did such a beautiful job. This purple, I mean, come on, much better than my Nag Champa. So he's better at it, and I will say, if you guys don't like the Patty Wax, you may make him cry because he's very sensitive. I have had a lot of questions, and I'm going to try to really briefly run down the gamut and give you guys a frequently asked question edition of Distracted by Diamonds today as it pertains to the Patty Wax. I thought I was going to have a diamond painting to unbox for you today, but it's still not here, and I'm sad. I will do that video when it gets here because I think you guys are going to get a big kick out of my new custom diamond painting, but it's not here. So I guess we're just going to have to talk a little bit about the Patty Wax, and I'm also going to give you a demonstration again at the end of the video, so you might want to hang out for that. I'm going to show you some tools that you might want to acquire that's going to make your life with Patty Wax, I think, a lot happier. First of all, I'd like to say hello to all my new subscribers. Hi. I've seen you out there. I know you're subscribing to the channel, and I'm sorry that I haven't been able to make a video, but I've been busy. That's just all there is to it. And no, that is not a complaint. It is just a fact. When you have a business and you're running a business for yourself, which I've done previously, you're only as good in your business as you are willing to put in the time. The busier I am, I feel like the better the business is going to be, and that's just how it goes. Thank you to all of my new subscribers, and hello out there. If you are new to diamond painting and you just kind of stumbled across this video, hello to you as well. I realize that not everybody understands or knows what Patty Wax is, but it is a diamond painting drill pen wax that I created to replace the pink standard wax. And I realize it's not always pink, but I'm just generically saying pink wax, the wax that comes in your diamond painting kit, because I was really frustrated with it. And after a lot of searching and trial and error and experimenting, I came up with something that I feel is much better and will make your diamond painting life more enjoyable. I promised a lot of people a lot of answers to questions, so I'm just gonna roll it out. Starting with number one. There are a lot of variables that go into using anything like this in any type of instrument because you're dealing with basically a surface area the size of, a little bit bigger than the size of maybe, I don't know, a period. The tip of a single placer in a diamond pen is not a lot of surface area for you to have margins of error and things like that going on, and yet there are these things going on. And 99.9% of you have given me such wonderful positive feedback, and I love all of you, and thank you so much for all of your business and all of your support. But you know, not everybody's having as grand of a time with Patty Wax as I want them to, and so I'm just going to blanket statement kind of try to address it. When I have the off complaint about the Patty Wax, it is it's always from someone who lives in the north. It's either from Canada, or it's from Michigan, or it's from, up. I feel like people that are having a problem with the Patty Wax are either they're hard pressers when they diamond paint, which I am too. So I'm gonna hopefully give you a little bit of a tips and tricks to maybe help you circumvent that a little bit at the end of the video. But hard pressers, yeah, I mean, no matter what you use in your diamond painting pen, if you press really hard, it's going to spill out. Number two, I find it's got to be the climate, because there's a pattern. And it took a while for me to see the pattern, but now I see it. So I'm just going to real quick going to tell you what I suggest. If you are living in the north and you are having any kind of issue with patty wax at all, I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to take it, and I want you to keep it in the baggie, of course. I mean, if you don't want to keep it in the baggie, that's fine too, but I suggest you do. And I want you to take it, and I want you to stick it right here. Stick it right in your bra, okay? Right in that area. Go do your laundry, go, you know, I don't know, mess around in your house, walk the dog, do something. No, don't walk the dog because you'll be outside. Don't do that. Do something in your house, right? For about a half an hour or so. Take it back out of your bra, or if you're a man, stick it in your armpit. I don't know, stick it in your pants. I mean, I don't know what to tell you if you're a man. I'm sorry about that, and I'm really not trying to exclude you. Pull it out after about a half an hour and try it again. If it still doesn't work for you and you're still having an issue with it, talk to me on Etsy and we'll figure it out. You know, it may just be that patty wax is not your product. It's not for you, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be for everybody. I know everyone's excited and they want it to work because they really just don't like the pink wax, which I didn't either, so I don't blame you. And I find that I'm thinking now that 9 times out of 10, any kind of issues like that are happening because it's cold. You might keep your house cold. I mean, I keep my house around 70 degrees. I'll try to help you work it out. I think it's the temperature, to be honest, because I don't have an issue with it. I test every single batch. I'm going to test this batch. I'm going to test this batch. And I'm going to make sure that it works before it leaves my house. So if it's working for me right around 70, that's right about where I keep my house, then I have to question why it's not working for you. And that's the only thing that I can really come up with. So stick it in your bra. And no, I'm not kidding. Can my dogs eat it? No, I highly don't suggest it. Is it toxic? No, of course not. All of the ingredients in patty wax are non-toxic. I made sure of that, and I didn't just make sure of that by reading the labels. I made sure to contact the companies that make the substances that go into patty wax and got their assurance. I use cosmetic grade fragrances. I'm now exclusively, except for 2 fragrances, I am now exclusively going with a company that has assured me that it's fine to put into this product that people are going to handle all the time, because it is cosmetic grade and they completely clear it for using in soap or lotion or any of that type of thing. Is your dog gonna die if he eats it? Probably not. Little dogs, I mean, I have 5 Chihuahuas, and I have literally taken this stuff and put it up to my dog's noses. Even the foodie smells that I do, they don't want anything to do with it. They don't want to lick it. They just sniff it a little bit and then they're like very nonplussed. But the big dogs, you know, big dogs, my daughter has a pit bull, and I've had big dogs in the past as well, and they'll pretty much eat anything. You know, they'll eat garbage. And you know I'm right. They just eat anything. So they might get a hold of it and eat it. Are they going to die? If your dog is young and healthy and in good shape, no. Is it going to get sick? I would doubt that it would even get sick. Maybe. But I highly recommend you keep it away from the dog. Samples. Am I going to be doing sample packs? I thought I was. And I know that I told some people that I was going to be rolling that out. Every time I try to roll it out, I can't justify it. And I'll tell you why. Because number one, there is absolutely no profit margin in it for me. Etsy takes a huge chunk of my profits, and the ingredients that I use in patty wax are expensive. I do not skimp on my ingredients. So my profit margin on each one of these little bricks is very minuscule. And if I try to do samples, I'm knocking that down even more. And not only that, but when I do samples, I have to make individual bricks like this, and I have to package all of them into individual plastic bags. So I'm introducing even more plastic out into the universe, which is something that's kind of bothering me about, you know, the patty wax and how it has to be packaged. And I'm trying to find a workaround for that. So samples, I guess, are gonna have to go on the back burner, and I apologize. If you buy a smell, it smells like what I say it smells like. If you're gonna buy grape knee-high, it smells like grapes. If you're gonna buy Nag Champa and you're familiar with that smell, it's gonna smell like Nag Champa. So you're pretty safe. I mean, yeah, you wanna sample them all and that type of thing, but you know, it's not like you're going to get a smell that's way off the beaten path from what I tell you it smells like. I promise you that. I took artistic license with Mermaid Lagoon, and I called it Mermaid Lagoon because it does not smell like what it's supposed to smell like on the bottle. It's not even close. But I love the smell of it. I really like it a lot. If I called it the smell that was on the bottle and you got it, you might highly be disappointed in it because it doesn't smell like what it says it is. I'm going to blanket Mermaid Lagoon right now. I'm just going to tell you what it smells like. And I'm horrible at describing scents, but I'm going to give it my best shot here. It is light, it is fruity, it is a little bit citrusy, a little bit sweet, but nothing like a heavy type of a perfume. It's, let's measure strength of the smell. It's mid-range. I mean, when I'm using Mermaid Lagoon and I'm sitting here with it, I can definitely smell it. I've never had a complaint about that smell. Everybody loves that smell. So I will continue to make it. But other than Mermaid Lagoon, I really try to stick with, basically, I call these smells what's on the fragrance bottle. Let me talk a little bit about the tins. I make these. I make these myself. I don't make the metal actual box. I order the boxes, but I apply the vinyl. I have to cut the vinyl. I, put the paper inside of the tins. And, you might think, oh, what does it take, like 5 minutes? No, it takes longer than 5 minutes. And I could feasibly sit here in a day and crank 30 of these out if I really wanted to, but I don't want to, and I'll tell you why. I like things that are bespoke. I like things that are different. I don't want every single person to have the same tin. I don't think that's any fun. I want you guys to have something a little bit unique, so I only make like 4 or 5 at a time. Right now, that's how I'm going to continue doing that, and as soon as I list them, they fly out the door, and there's nothing I can do. Now, I have a lot of requests. Can I just go on Etsy and request it and, I'll pay you with PayPal? I don't think that's fair. Since I have such a long list of people that want one, I feel like that's kind of backhanded. And I don't want to do business that way. I want everyone to be able to have the same chance to get one. So, there are a few people that really, really want one. They're very diligent about emailing me about it. So I'll try to give you a little heads up and say, hey, I'm going to list some tins in about a half an hour, if you're interested, whatever. But that's about the extent that I can go to at this point, because it's not fair. I list them at all different times of the day. A lot of times in the evening, I try to give you guys a new scent to smell or to buy at least 2 or 3 times a week. So I'll unveil a new scent and I'll go over to Instagram, and my Instagram is @DistractedByDiamonds. And I will go over there and I will post just my new smell. And if I have tins available, I'll give you a little heads up and say, hey, I also listed some tins and they're over there. But I usually only have about 3 or 4 in my wheelhouse or in my supply at any given time. I list them as I make them. And if you need to go somewhere else and buy your tin, perfectly fine with me, and I completely understand. If you want a tin that I make, then you're going to have to wait a little, and I'm sorry for that. Facebook. I did make a Facebook page. I'm horrible at Facebook. So I made a Patty Wax page, and it is PADDY space WAXX. I check it a couple times a day. I look for new notifications and stuff. I'll eventually get to the point where I'll start listing new things on there and communicating with you guys. And then somebody had asked me a question, am I going to have a group? As soon as humanly possible. But right now I'm just in the baby steps of figuring out Facebook. I'm telling you guys, I haven't been on Facebook for 10 years. I'm just gonna tell you why. Because no matter what I did, every single time I got on Facebook, no matter who I blocked or who I didn't want on there or whose feed I didn't want to see, I always had to be confronted with my ex-husband and my ex-families. They have a big family, okay? So every time I got on there, that's all I was faced with. And I had to think about it, and I had to think about them, and I'm only human. I didn't want to think about it anymore. We've been divorced for a long, long, long time. And I just, I didn't need that in my life. So I stopped looking at it. And I stopped dealing with it. And avoidance is great sometimes. You can't run away from everything. But sometimes you can, you can put it over here. And see, I said I was going to sit here and do things while I'm talking. And I'm bad at that. So what else? Videos. If you guys are making videos about Patty Wax, which I know you are, I haven't probably been able to watch them yet, and I am so sorry. I keep telling myself I'm going to have a Patty Wax night, and I'm just going to sit here with a beer, and I'm going to relax and I'm gonna watch all of these Patty Wax videos. I'm really gonna try hard to do that, but like I like to go into like Rachel Ray's live chat, and I haven't been officially in crafting after hours with Miss Crochet and Coffee, but I have been in there, just lurk. I don't really say anything. I'm kind of a shy person. So I got on I got on Instagram and I asked Mrs. Coffee if she cared if I came in there, and she didn't really say she cared. She just said, yeah, I'm going to go live tonight or whatever. I know she doesn't care, but I feel kind of bad too, you know? So until Patty Wax kind of just gets out there and you guys are getting used to using it and there's not so many questions, I'm just going to kind of keep to myself, and I hope you don't mind that. Plus I have a lot of things to do. So I have to address something, speaking of Miss Crochet and Coffee. It has to do with the video that she did about Patty Wax. When I first started to develop Patty Wax, I sent some to some people to test it out, which they did. I was not looking for them to launch my product or, do a video or say anything about it, but it just kind of happened. Let me just say this. Every single person that has gotten Patty Wax from me from the day that I launched my Etsy store, everyone who has purchased it from me, blanket, you've always gotten the same batch, the same formula, the same Patty Wax that this is made out of, that this is made out of. Almost forgot about this. One drawback is sometimes they get a little clammy. Don't worry about it. It's just your sweat. And no, I'm not going to sell this one now. This is a tester. I promise you're not going to get that one. So, it's the same Patty Wax. I promise you. There were no separate batches that were sold. There were prototypes that were sent out for feedback, and that was it. So if it's not working for you, I don't want you to think it's because I sold you some from a different batch. It's not. I promise. Again, if it's misbehaving, it's because it's just a little bit too cold. Have you seen this dog? I have 5 Chihuahuas. I've said this before. If I lost one of my Chihuahuas, which I never have, but if I did, I would lose my mind. They're my babies, and when you lose a little dog like that, it's just, not only is it really hard to find it because it's little, but they're so little and vulnerable to things. And so anyway, Grace in Port Arthur, Texas. I love Port Arthur. I would live there in a heartbeat if I could. She lost Peanut. She gave me her permission to show her phone number, and there is a reward for Peanut. And I would be thankful if Peanut found her way home. She has heartworms. Such a sweet little baby. Okay? So I want to get that out of the way. And I told Grace that I would do that. So there you go, Grace. I hope this helps. Next, I want to give a shout out to Tina. Tina is one of my best customers, and this is why. I asked Tina to take a picture of her Patty Wax collection for me so that I could post it in my video because I was getting a kick out of it. Now, she has a Facebook group, and again, I couldn't find her. I went on Facebook and I was trying to search for her. She's an Ohio peep like me, and my Ohio peeps have really come out in full force for me. I gotta say, I don't know if they know I'm from Ohio or if it's just a coincidence or what, but Teresa, Sparkle and Shine Addict, I see you, girl, going to Hawaii. Teresa's a fabulous customer of mine, also from my home state of Ohio. I don't think she'd mind if I told you that. So yeah, my Ohio peeps have come out in full force for me, and thank you so much. And Tina is an Ohio peep, and she has become one of my very best customers. She has a Facebook, and Tina, if you're watching this, will you please friend request me over there on Patty Wax, because I looked for you and I couldn't find you specifically. So if you could just give me a shout out on Facebook or let me know how to get a hold of you on Facebook, I'd love to follow your group. I did follow a bunch of groups while I was on Facebook. I had no idea you guys were so prolific. Oh my gosh. I'm going to switch gears now. I'm going to bring you down here and I'm going to show you some tools that you might want to get for your Patty Wax habit, to go along with your Patty Wax habit that might help you out, and show you a little bit more of how I use the wax. So, 1 second, please. Okay, kids. Now, I'm horrible at demonstration videos, and this is I don't know, maybe the 3rd one that I've made, but I'm going to try really hard. I've been making this Patty Wax for a long time before I even sent it out to anybody. So, if you guys know me from Drills and Chills, then you know that I was doing my El Gato Gomez diamond painting, and I did have the artist permission to do that painting. For most of the time that I drilled on that painting, well, no, for all of the time I think that I was drilling on that painting, I was using Patty Wax. Now, I was using the pre-formula that you guys, you know, I don't want you to get confused, but even that was still working really well for me. I wasn't having any issue with it. So, but then again, I'm used to working with it, and I get that it's different from pink wax. Believe me, trust me, I understand that. What I do when I test the wax is I don't have time to sit here and pull out my diamond paintings every time I test the wax. So what I do is I take my handy dandy ATG gun, which is my best friend. I've had this. Me and old Yeller here have been through more than one dilemma in life. But anyway, I just take it, and if I bump you, I'm sorry. You're really close to me right now, but I just take it and I roll it across here. And I just get a nice coating on a piece of, you know, recycled cardstock. And so that's what I do. Now, is ATG tape the same as diamond painting adhesive? No, it's not, and it's not as strong. So I feel even more confident testing it on this substance, because if it's sticking to this and I'm not having a problem with the wax, I feel like you're going to be really happy when you're using it on a diamond painting. And since I promised you guys that I wasn't going to sell you my clammy Patty Wax fir tree that I had in my bra, we'll just use that. So it's nice and warm. Ooh, and I do like it. I mean, I'm telling you, that's not a bad tip. So when I use Patty Wax, I am not shy with the wax. Now, the videos that I've seen people doing, you guys are just very gingerly scraping this thing. This is what I do. I'm going to use a brand new tip. Oh, just pulled it out of the bag. I can't. It's funny because when I first started making videos, I said, don't send me these pens because I have enough pens to last a lifetime. Well, little did I know how much I would need these pens in the future. So you see how things can change. So what I do is, if I'm using my single placer, I scrape the crap out of this stuff. I scrape it. I get nice little tails going along there. Now, here's me being very familiar with this substance at this point. I can tell you right now, just the way that that's behaving and scraping off like that, I can tell you right now that that is going to be nice wax. I probably don't even have to test it at this point. I can tell you, it's just going to be good. So I scrape it, and I get quite a bit in there, and I get all of that. Can you see me? All of that. Nice overage. Now, there's several things you can do at this point. If I'm in a hurry and I don't want to mess around, I just go ahead and I dab it off onto my cardstock. And by the way, when I'm diamond painting, I always have one of these sitting around. This is my cast off sheet. So when I pick up a crappy drill or I see junk in my tray that I want to get rid of, I just pick it up from the tray and dot it off onto here. And I always have one of these sitting around. The whole thing where you pick it up and you flick it off into a bowl or a little tin, I can't do that because it just, I think it's my nails. It just flies across the room. So this has just been working for me, and that's what I do. So you can dot it off onto a piece of cardstock or even a piece of paper if you really wanted to. And when you do that, you end up getting a nice flat surface. Now, I promise you, here's what's going to happen. When I start to drill, but let me pull out some of these amazing drills that I got the other day from Diamond Drills USA. Oh, I love these drills. We'll talk about that for a minute. But don't get me distracted. Don't get me distracted by diamonds. So here I have my single placer. It's loaded and it's nice and flat. And I wish you could see it. Maybe you can see it and I just can't. But anyway, it's nice and flat. If I take one of these drills and I press as hard as I can on there, and then I dot it off on my little sheet there, if I do that, this is what you're going to get. this is the first drill I place. Oh yeah. Now, that's just the law of physics, kids. If this is packed full and I mush it, that's what you're going to get. Now, that's just my first drill. I basically do that a lot, right? That's my first loading of the Patty Wax. So I do that, I let that spill over a little bit, and then I just take my finger and I roll it around on my finger, get all the excess off of there. Usually when I do that, then I'm ready to go, right? I can just start drilling, and I normally don't have an issue after that. And there we go, right? We're off. And again, doing this through my camera, so through my phone. I really probably should invest in another camera maybe. At some point, maybe I will. I don't know, but it's hard for me to see through the phone and still work. All right, so there we go. And after that initial drill, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of residue, and I'm also not seeing any shine lost on there, okay? Now, I do tend to be a little heavy-handed when I diamond paint. So, I mean, I get it. If you're heavy-handed, you're going to run into an issue with that. If you keep pressing and keep pressing and keep pressing. If you have to keep pressing really hard to get the drill to pick up or behave the way you want it to, 9 times out of 10, you need to reload your pen. Again, this is one of those things where you're going to find your way. Now, I just reloaded my pen, and I'm trying to be a little bit more delicate with the wax. But again, I'm a heavy-handed person, so sometimes it's a little hard for me to do that. But as you can see, I have a little bit of a hangnail coming off of there, and that will happen. I just roll it around on my finger when I see that happen. And usually it comes right off, and then I just continue to drill. The longer you drill, the less that should happen. I'm going to introduce you to a tool that I found. I found it because it's in my stash already from other crafts, and I've done every craft under the moon, so I have a plethora of crafting tools that I don't really use anymore. I'm going to show you. So I know you guys don't like this. You guys don't want to have that spillage. Just mush it down. Mush it back on there, and then watch me. See, look, dig right back into it. You know, it's not going to hurt anything. Does it look pretty? Well, no, not necessarily, but it's not going to hurt anything. And then you don't have to lose your little crumbles. I mean, if you don't want to waste, which is perfectly fine with me, and I get it, just mush it back on there. It should stay perfectly fine. Okay, so say hello to my little friend. This is a Kemper Tools polymer clay tool that you use when you make little polymer clay doodads. I bought this set of Kemper tools to make something very specific, and it was this. I wanted to put little gnomes in little glass vials. It's weird because in making this little guy, I also learned about these little clay slices that I put in the Patty Wax. That's how I knew about these and how I knew to use them in the wax bars, which is kind of weird. But yeah, so I bought polymer clay, and I bought these tools just because I wanted to make these. I don't know. I get weird ideas. If you happen to be lucky enough to be a polymer clay worker, or if you can find these somewhere and you can buy a Kemper #1, I can take my little #1 and I can literally go over here and just mush it onto the end. It works really so well. It just smushes it down in there pretty much perfectly every single time I do it. Then you have a nice concave surface inside of your drill pen, and you can pretty much just go from there. And if you get to the point where it's not picking up, it's not cooperating with you, something's going on, just reload it. So there's that tool. And I love it, and that's something you can maybe try if you're having a hard time. Now, we need to switch gears and talk about the multi-placer. So I have a multi-placer. Now, this multi-placer is brand spanking, never used it before. I hate it. I'm going to tell you right now, I do not like these at all. I would much prefer to use the thin version. I like the skinnies better than the fatties. But at the moment, I don't have any clean as a whistle thin ones, and I want to use a clean as a whistle one for this demonstration purpose. All right, now here's how I'm going to attack this sucker. I could scrape it across the top, but I'm not going to. I'm going to get it at the side over here. And I'm going to load it like this. I'm going to keep flipping it and flipping it and flipping it until I am perfectly happy and satisfied that this entire multi-placer is completely packed, as tight as I can pack it. Don't be shy. You know, sometimes I see you girls, you know, you're just very gently scraping, or you're taking it and you're trying to mush it in there with your finger. Don't even bother doing that. Just get in there, okay? Now, here's the exciting part. Now, this literally is this is what it looks like when I first load it. Every single time. This is me. This is how I load it. But the exciting thing that I use that I love, and I think I showed this in my other video, but I'm not sure, is this pen. It is I think this is a nail art pen. So what I do is I take it and I usually get myself over top of my brick and I scrape it off. And this pen is perfect for this. Now, you don't have to have a pen like this, but I am going to tell you, they come complimentary in Victoria's Moon kits. That's how I got this one. And you can get them over on AliExpress. Just go on over to AliExpress and search for nail art pen or diamond painting pen. They always have the little gems inside, and they usually always have a little cone of like beeswax or some kind of wax over the top of it. Mine is long gone. They're like $2. And it's going to make your life so much easier when you're working with the patty wax, I think. Now, no, you don't have to go buy one of these, because a lot of people also use the tweezers. So anything flat is going to work. I just really love that pen for this purpose. It just seems to really do the job. But you can use tweezers, anything flat, you know, scrape it across there. And here's what you're looking for. You're looking for, I'm trying to get a glare on here so you can see it, but that really nice flat surface. You might have to do this a couple times, you know, spend a little time with it, give it a hot second. Okay, now, the first line that I place with that wax in that multi-placer, 9 times out of 10, is going to have A, residue, or B, spillage. Again, this is the law of physics, kid. So I'm pushing a flat surface into a convex surface, which is going to make it spill out, right? But anyway, so I'm grabbing the drills, and I'm going to place them. No, I'm not. I lied. Let's try it over here. Okay, I'm going to place them on here. At some point, they're going to come off. My first go, okay, and I'm not going to edit this. Just bear with me here. Now, if I pick this up, you guys are going to see that, yeah, there's a little bit of residue going on there, okay? Because it spilled over, because I'm trying to make a nest for the drills. Now, another thing that I found, though, if you don't want to mess with that, and then the more you work with it, obviously, maybe you just want to get yourself a little piece of this and dot off a few lines, you know, till you get yourself situated, because again, the more you work with it, the better this surface is going to become. But if you don't want to mess with that, another good use for this Kemper #1 is you could just go along there and scrape yourself out a nice little groove in there if you want. Don't have to, but you can. Now I'm lucky, because when I'm lazy and I don't want to grab my Kemper #1, I take my fingernail and I just go like this and put a groove in there with my nail. I cheat, but I do find that the Kemper tool works really well. And after that, I usually don't find that I have a lot of issues. And then it just goes even quicker, and you're making that surface, this wax surface, is going to become more waxy, and it's not going to come off as bad. And that's the best way I can explain it. This is really sad, because it's making me want to diamond paint really bad, and I'm kind of jonesing for diamond painting. It is an addiction, I think. Ever since I've been doing patty wax, I have had no time to diamond paint. I have all of this wax and no time to diamond paint, just like the gift of the Magi, kind of. That was my Christmas. around here. But, you know, so I'm going to lay some more lines here if I have room on this little sheet. And again, like I said, I'm horrible at demonstrations. Okay, so I'm laying a few lines. Oh, Pippi. No, don't do it to me. But there you have some lines that I laid down after I, you know, now that's compared to this one here. You know, that was the first one I did. Now, after I have my little groove in there, I'm not seeing a lot of residue on there myself. That's just me. So all I can tell you guys is if, you know, if I'm doing these little tricks or if I'm working with the Patty Wax and it's working for me, I don't know why it wouldn't work for you as well. But I also understand that when you get a new tool, get a new toy, you know, part of the fun is learning how to use it, and you're all going to use it differently. Don't give up on it. Use it for a little while, you know, test it out, see how it's working for you, and give it a chance, you know. But yes, these two tools, I will try after I'm done making this video. I will definitely put some concerted effort into trying to find a link to where you can buy it, especially this one. Now this one's just over there on AliExpress, so you can find it. Ooh, and let me, before I forget, let me show you something else that happens. Another reason why this tool is extremely useful, and just in diamond painting in general. When I want to reload even the metal tips with any kind of different wax or something like that, all I really usually need to do, look at that, is push that into there. And the wax, my wax anyway, basically likes to come out in one chunk like that. And I love that. That way I don't have to really spend a lot of time digging around in there to get it out, because when you go in and you start digging around, you change the shape of the tip. And once you change the shape of the tip, it tends to do wonky things. They get bent, they get out of shape. Now this one's bent and out of shape because it's one of the only ones that I have, and I was frantic trying to test the Patty Wax with these tips because people were having problems. Now, for the last couple of weeks, I have had no issues with these that I know of. No one has gotten a hold of me and said anything about it. And I did do a demonstration with this tip, and I'm going to do it again. But here's my recommendation. If you're having trouble with this tip, switch to the metal tip, because I know the metal tip works. And I know that I have a lot easier time with the metal tip than I do with this. I think it has something to do with the way it recedes back down into that plastic cavity. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But again, you know, I really don't have a lot of problems. But I do find that I don't get the nice pop with these that I usually get for some reason with my metal tip. You know, but it still works okay. I just don't know that I can endorse the Patty Wax with the plastic tips. It's just not, I don't know. They're not my favorite thing. Let's just put it that way. So last order of business today, and I hope that that was helpful. The last order of business that I want to talk about today is diamond drills. Oh my God. Look at these drills. Look at these square green AB drills. They are fabulous. I got a hold of Teresa, who is the proprietor of Diamond Drills USA, and I reached out to her and I said, hey, could I get some of your drills so I can test them with the wax? Because I've been seeing these on Instagram a lot and I was curious. I wanted to try them. I'll be replacing a lot of the drills that came with my diamond paintings with this, and especially this green. And when I unbox my next diamond painting on my channel, you guys will see why. And it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to do it. I can't wait till it gets here. In any case, like, there's the green ones, and look at these reds. OMG. Now, the whole time I've been drilling away talking to you, I've been using the black Diamond Drills USA drills. And, you know, fortunately for me at this moment, I don't need these to replace anything. But man, do I wish I would have known, or I wish they would have been around, because I had to wait for months. And I ran out of drills on 2 Sophie Beauty Store paintings, 310s. Both times I ran out of drills and I had none to replace it with, and I had to wait an entire month. So it's nice that you don't have to wait. She's out of Washington. She's just fabulous to work with. If you have any drill needs whatsoever, any color, any of the ABs that you girls, I know you're like me, you like to substitute, you know, the ABs in your kits. Don't hesitate, man. Run right over there. And if you're using Patty Wax, I can highly recommend them because they work so well. Even the ABs work really well with the Patty Wax. I'm very impressed with Teresa and her whole operation. And I am going to link to Teresa's store. I'm going to link to Teresa's store on down below. So, yeah, check her out. She's a very nice lady, very business-minded, very intelligent. And let's keep the small businesses rolling, shall we? All right. So, I mean, I guess that's all I really wanted to say today. I want you to know that I'm constantly working on improving the Patty Wax. I'm enjoying the fact that you all are giving me this feedback because it helps to make me, it helps make the product better. I'm listening to everything that you say. You can get a hold of me over on Etsy. My Etsy shop is Patty Wax, capital Paddy, capital WAXX, no spaces and 2 X's. So if you want to find me, and if you're not going to use the link below, you can just put Patty Wax into the search bar of Etsy, and you should be able to locate me with no problem. If you want to get a hold of me and talk to me, the best place to do that is either Etsy or Instagram. I am at Distracted by Diamonds on Instagram, and I check Instagram a lot. If you're having a specific issue with an order that you placed on Etsy, get a hold of me through Etsy. Do not try to get a hold of me through my email, because my email that I created for Patty Wax is already inundated with spam and trash. It didn't take more than 10 seconds for that to happen. And I don't want you to get lost in the fuddlement, and I don't really have time to sit there and comb through every email. So it's probably best if you just get a hold of me on Etsy. I have a new product, and I'm so stoked about it. I really do. I think you guys are going to just freak when you see it. I think you're going to be really happy. So if this is something that you like and you would like to follow Patty Wax and you want to continue when I have an update or I launch a new product or something like that, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so that you know every time I post. Never hurts to give me a like as well, because it helps people to find me. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you so much for all of the support and the outpouring of love. I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying the Patty Wax. Take care of each other, and remember, truth without tact is cruelty. Have a safe and wonderful new year, and I'll catch you all in 2020. Bye.